This is because their love is for all, for everybody. All those mothers in Vrindavan, they have their own children also. So in their children also, when they were feeding their children, giving food, their experience is they were giving food to Krishna only. When they were bathing their children and giving clothes to children, decorating the children, their own children, for them as if they are decorating Krishna only. There is no other thought in their mind, totally. So that is the real devotion. That is because of love for all. That is the first quality. And then second quality is wisdom. What is this? What does it mean? Wisdom means not just the knowledge accumulated by studying the scriptures or sciences and all these things. Because wisdom is the real knowledge of the one omnipresent. And this can be possible only when you have love for all. So, for example, masters like our master, how they have so much of wisdom. How is it possible that they can read so many books, so many sciences, so many things? For us it appears like something very miracle. How one person in the physical body can have the information, the knowledge of so many sciences, so many books, and when master was asked to anybody, suppose a scientist asks some scientific explanation, he used to give a scientific explanation. Once when master was in Geneva, Master E.K., it happened that he was invited to the CERN Institute. You know CERN Institute? CERN Institute in Geneva. C-E-R-N. C-E-R-N. CERN. CERN Institute. It is in this is the institute who are making so-called research about the Big Bang. From where all this creation has come out. So they want to make research and prove it is from a Big Bang. So this is the big institute. It is a group of so-called big scientists. So once master was invited to this institute with Rudolph. Master visited this institute and he was introduced to these scientists, so-called very top scientists. Then the scientists asked master, we want you to speak in our institute. We want to have your speech in our institute. Then master said, okay, I am ready now itself. No need for preparation for him. So then they asked him, on which subject you want to speak? Then master said, on which subject you want me to speak? They asked master, on which subject you will speak? Then master asked them, on which subject you want me to speak? Then they said, we want you to speak on electron. Okay, said master said, okay. Then he started his speech about electron and what is pre-electronic state, all this, everything he has given, all the cosmic wisdom, which for the scientists, they were very shocked because they were thinking, till that time they were thinking we are topmost scientists, so we know everything. After this lecture they could realize what we know is just little. All the cosmic science he has given about electron, how electron is formed and what is pre-electronic state, what is consciousness, all these things he has explained. Then they were quiet. And after coming back, our Indian colleague who was with him, he asked, Master, when did you study about electronics and all these things? And Master said, no, I have not studied electronics and about electron and all these things. But without studying, how can you give such a lecture which all these scientists also were stunned? I said, no, nothing. They asked, through them, it is the Almighty, my Guru, Master C.V., or the Lord Consciousness, has ordered me to speak. And again, he was speaking. That's so simple. Because his ego is not localized. He is always in the soul level. So therefore, for such person, it is possible. We are not stabilized at the soul level. We are at the level of mind and all these things. So for us it is difficult. For him, nothing is difficult. So for masters are like that. So the wisdom, Master said, always wisdom is not just only by we have to study the scriptures. Everybody is expected to study the scriptures every day. That is true. But not merely by studying the scriptures that we get wisdom. The wisdom will dawn upon us only when we have love for all. This is the secret. Some people, in the pursuit of all this, some people think that if we love all, then we need not love the people who love us. So they think that now wife and children or husband and children, all this is nothing. So I love everybody. If you love everybody, why don't you love your wife or your children and your also? Some foolish fellows in this pursuit, they think that they will go to service to everywhere, but they don't care their wife and children. And then they think that my love is for everybody. If everybody is there, he is not included. So that is the stupid idea, a wrong interpreting of love for all. In Ramayana, also Valmiki explains about Rama, describes about Rama. Rama has all the divine qualities because he is Lord's incarnation. So he protects anybody, any being in this world who has surrendered for him. He is a protector of all. And he is a protector of the law. At the same time, he is also protector of those who are nearer to him, means not from him. Those who feel nearer to him, who are dependent upon him, are also protected. They are also included. So, your family and these are all not excluded from this. So, we must be very careful in understanding these things. So, love for all, when you have this, then wisdom dawns upon you. There will be dawn of wisdom. Wisdom is not acquired. You will get wisdom not by acquiring, but wisdom will dawn upon you, your mind. And that when can wisdom will dawn? Only when you have love for all. It is connected to that. If your love is conditioned, then you will have no dawn of wisdom. So you may learn homeopathy, you may learn astrology, you may learn any science, whatever you may learn. But the essence of this, the background you can go only when you have love for all. That is the only thing. And the third virtue So first is love for all, second wisdom, third is service. That is why Master has given so much importance for service. Serve all, once again. Service means only not limited to somebody else. If I say that my services are always available for those who are my friends, or for those who belong to my party, or who only those who belong to my group, so no limitations. Serve all, love all, serve all. There should be no limitation. So service. Why service should be the virtue? Because when you are engaged in service beyond any motive, then you will be purified from your lower inhibitions, emotions and all these things. So we must get purified from lower aspect. That is possible through service. And then sacrifice. The fourth one is sacrifice. What is this sacrifice? Sacrificing some objects or some things. It may start with some little things, but it should go to the higher. What is the highest sacrifice? You can sacrifice some money, you can sacrifice some things, or whatever it may be. But what is the highest sacrifice? What is the most important thing for every being? Then you say that, oh, but I love my children, I love my wife. Master used to give several examples. There were some young couple, they got a child, a baby, and they say that, oh, we love our child so much. Then one day it happened, then they were on the roof of a building where there is no parapet wall, there is no wall. And these young couple, they were very much busy in talking to each other and did not notice that the child was crawling and the child fell down. And suddenly they have seen, and they have seen their child falling from the roof down, and they will come by stairs only, they will not jump. Why? Because they love themselves more than the child. But they say, we love our child so much. They hug the child. They kiss the child, they hug the child, doing all this, oh, love mine. But if the child is falling down, they will not jump with the child. They will come by the stairs. So, whom they love very much? Themselves. So they sacrifice. So, if you can sacrifice, if necessary, your life also for a higher cause, then you can call it sacrifice. But not by your decision. That will be it is not by your desire. If it is a desire or a wish, then it is not sacrifice. It should be free from any sort of sentiment. So you must be able to differentiate these things. You should use your discrimination. If it is a demand from the higher, then You should be ready. Then it is sacrifice. So sacrifice. And then goodwill. Next one is goodwill. Once again, this goodwill, we also use this term in the commercial activities also. That is not the real goodwill. That goodwill, we say this goodwill to have benefit from others. This is not the goodwill. Goodwill is something which makes the other person feel secure and in your presence, that is goodwill. It is from you towards other person, not from other person towards you. So if you feel of any sort of benefit, personal benefit or expectation, then none of this is useful for you. Goodwill. Another is identification with others. Identification with others. What is this? We have two terms. Identity and identification. Most of us, when we have not entered into the discipleship, we are only in the normal human level, in this world, mundane world. Then what is acting in us is identity. That means you want to have your own separate identity to be recognized. How you remember yourself? Suppose you ask, who are you? Immediately if I say, I am a homeopathic doctor, so so that is, you are still dwelling in this identity. You forgot that you are a human being. Once Master, when he went to United States, he went only once. Afterwards he did not go back. Once he was invited, he went to United States, and in the city of New York there was a meeting, gathering, and that evening the police commissioner of this city of New York was one of the chief persons for this gathering, and he introduced himself to Master. He shook the hand of Master and said, I am so and so my name, I am the chief police commissioner of this city. Then Master smiled and said, I know better things about you than this. He was shocked. Because he was very proudly introducing himself. I am the chief of police officers here for the city. Master just smiled and said, I know better things about you than this. He was shocked. What are they? Then he said, I know, I can feel that you are a good human being. He cannot deny this. Of course, he was a gentleman. And in his speech, then what Master spoke, then he could realize, this fellow realized that you have to leave this identity and get identification with others. Identification with others means you should be able to see the reflection of your inner light in the other beings also. It is the same. And that can be possible only you have love for all once again. Otherwise, it is not possible. You have the inner light, that is the soul, and when you transact with other beings also, you should get identified with all the people around you, all the beings. Because it is only one light that is being radiated through all these forms. So identification with others is possible only when you have love for all. So you have to get out of this identity consciousness. So then you are not separated, you will not separate yourself from the others. There is one teaching in one of the books of Sanskrit, in Sanskrit. They say, who is the real perceiver? We have the physical eyesight, but that is not enough. Who is the real perceiver? He who sees others as his own image is the real perceiver. Atmavat sarvabhuteshu yah pasyati sapasyati. Means he who perceives others as his own reflection. Atma means soul. In Sanskrit, the word Atma means I am. That means the soul. Sarvabhuteshu means all beings. With all the beings, if his experience with other beings is just like of his own soul, the one soul, then that is the real perception. So therefore, identification with others. This is, and then compassion. Compassion. This is also a divine trait. So this is what you can see with all the avatars and all the masters. Compassion. And sympathy. Sympathy. So we must have compassion and sympathy for everybody. Not, once again, not as a sentiment. Not on the emotional level. It is on the higher level, the soul level. It should be naturally from that level. You have to sympathize and show compassion. That is what you see. Then some people cannot relate this when we say that with all the avatars, with all the incarnations of God, you can see that. Then some people cannot relate this. Some people question that if it is true, then how, when God came in the avatar of Rama or Krishna, how is it that they have killed so many people? But how can you say that it's sympathy, compassion, love and all these things? That is the question in the minds of some critical people who cannot understand this. Sometimes we also may get such question. If you say all are divine qualities, but when God came down, why he has killed these people? This was clearly explained by the masters of wisdom. Suppose, for example, Rama has killed Ravana. So here, killing means he has withdrawn one of his forms. It's not like our killing. It is not a murder. If I am angry upon some person, if I kill that person, then it is murder. Rama was never angry. He was there to establish the law. And the war against Ravana, and when he killed Ravana, this is also not like with anger, with jealousy, with hatred and all these things. During the war, first time when Rama directly came into confronted with Ravana, then he told Ravana, even now it is not too late for you to rectify yourself. And if you rectify yourself, if you realize what you have done is wrong, and you return Sita to me, I am not going to punish you. I don't see an enemy in you. I don't feel you are my enemy. Only I am following the law. I am here to protect the law. In the process of protecting the law, I have to fight with you, the battle. But if you rectify yourself even now, I can excuse you. I can once again let you be the ruler and I'll be a friend of you. In fact, the younger brother of Ravana, who was Vibhishana, he came very early when as soon as Rama made all his armies and camped their armies near the ocean, then itself Vibhishana came to Rama. Vibhishana is the younger brother of Ravana. He was always telling his brother, what you are doing is wrong. You should not do this. It is against the law. So please return, take the wife of Rama to him and hand over Sita to Rama. He is very kind. He will excuse you. But Ravana, never he accepted this. So this Vibhishana was expelled by Ravana because he was angry upon his brother. So this Vibhishana came and he surrendered himself to Rama. Then Rama was very pleased and said, he promised Vibhishana that he will make Vibhishana as the ruler of Lanka. When once Ravana is killed, he said, I will make you the ruler of Lanka. Then one of the colleagues from the monkey armies, the chief, he asked Rama, what is it that you made this promise? Suppose his brother Ravana will realize his mistake and he brings back your wife and hand over to you, then he is the ruler of Lanka and you said you will make his brother the ruler of Lanka. How can it be possible? Then Rama smiled and said, I don't have any doubt about it, because if Ravana will come to me, surrender to me and brings my wife back and realizes all his sins, I will excuse him and I will make him the ruler of my kingdom. That is what Rama said. It was true. For Rama, whatever he speaks is truthful. It's not just sentiment. He said, I am